Okay, Mario once again, and this is the second part of this videos on the Blueware Plus. This is a machine that I believe has been around a few years, and as I explained in my first video, just sort of to reintroduce you what I said, I bought it because of some of these features that I've been talking about in my other videos, particularly the one on the artillery Sidewinder X3 Pro. And this is exactly what I've been looking for in a machine because of my preference for a panel, a control panel that's built into the base of the machine. This allows everything to be enclosed, clean, and away from any possible breaking points, like you know, the side-mounted controllers. I don't care for those. I think they're just asking to be broken, especially if they're mounted on plastic brackets. This machine is it's a very nice machine. So this is the second part of this video. Watch my first part, and that has a little more information on opening the box and you know, getting the basic components here. Okay, so I've gone through the steps that are included in the manual. Very easy, very simple. It's probably most of these machines are these days. You have a tower that is inserted into the base, and you screw it from the bottom with two bolts. And that's how most of these machines are, open architecture. But this has the benefit of having the enclosed base, which I really like, and this is why this machine caught my eye when I saw it. Unfortunately, I did not see this company in previous years. Maybe I wasn't looking hard enough, but this machine seems to have been around for a while, and the company still makes this machine, so I ended up buying this. I'm glad that I was able to find this, and as I said in my first video, I am considering buying a second machine just by the quality of these parts that I'm seeing here. That I really like this because my Anycubics have you know, were built the same way with metal pieces. The metal structure, though the Anycubic is a one-piece tower architecture, and this kind of resembles my Anycubics, which are running in the background right there. You can see I've been making quite a number of parts in those machines. So I'm about to turn this machine on, but before I do that, I wanted to just go over some of the things that I found very nice. First of all, they welcome you with this card here. I don't know if people, you know, even pay attention to these things. I do. I'm just one of those old school guys that likes to read, you know, maybe a little bit about the company when they address the customers with these special cards and notices. I've done the same with my products. When I introduced my first helicopter, the Raven 280, I used to do the same thing. The Housefly, the Bumblebee, you know, I welcome my customers. I gave them a little background on the company and the product, how it was designed, by who it was designed, for what reasons it was designed. Maybe too much information for some people that don't care to read that, but I think it's important. When a company puts the emphasis in doing that, it just shows that they care not only what they're producing, but also what the customer experiences. And by all means, this is this is really giving me a nice experience, you know, from opening the box and just seeing the components to this point. The other point I wanted to make is that this also comes with their own checklist, something that I also include in my products. I am the one that checks everything when I supply my products. You know, I make radio control aircraft, ultralights, microlights, auto gyros, land yachts. I've done helicopters. I did that for a while, so I stopped making those. I used to do tons and tons of upgrades for the micro helicopter market before the quadcopter took over the world. You know, the little what they call drones. In my opinion, they're quadcopters. You know, because it's a hobby. It's not a device that carries stealth technology and weapons. That's a drone to me, in my opinion. But anyway, so checklist. So yes, this I appreciate that from this company. Two Trees, very nice. The manual, of course, I already pointed that in my first video. You know, this is heavy duty cover. You know, it's not just a piece of paper, you know, folded in half. I went through the steps, and I'm going to go through the steps in this video just to make sure that I have covered everything, and just to put that on the video. as record, and also for somebody that may be considering buying this machine, even though there are other machines that are more supposedly more up to date, or maybe have other features that somebody might be looking for. To me, I look for strength, solidity, solid parts, and if it's a metal machine, all throughout the parts, such as this is all metal. All the pieces you see in colors is metal. Which is I'm finding that rare, as time passes, from companies. And maybe this is one of the older machines. Hey, it's okay. I like old stuff because older stuff is solid, well made, like my Anycubic i3 Megas are. This particular sheet says just to make sure that you double check that you have the screws up installed correctly. There are 4 screws, 2 per side of a tower, that get installed from the bottom. They basically, typically, as all open architecture machines are done. And it's got this diagram here that says, make sure that when you install the couplers to the lead screws, that the lead screw is sitting all the way at the bottom. I mean, look at this coupler. I mean, this is a class act. Amongst the new machines that maybe some of them don't have as beefy couplers, but given the size of the machine, I mean that's probably why they're using these couplers. It's a lot beefier than I've seen in some other machines. Very nice. So that sheet just tells you to go over these parts. They also tell you to do 2 things here: to remove a stop here for the gantry. This came with a stop, and for shipping they do that to prevent the gantry from moving sideways and up and down. So I removed that piece right there from this side right here, and I removed this other piece from this side right here. They call those the locks, the beam locks, and so I removed those completely from the machine. Those are these parts right here. If anybody's wondering what they look like that. One's white, one's black and longer, and the white one was sitting at that point right there. When I did that, I went back and I unscrewed the top screw, because this was already installed on the bottom stepper motors. So I unscrewed these so that the lead screws could fall all the way down, which is what this illustration implies here. Is make sure that the lead screw is sitting all the way down and it does not have a gap here, no gap. That's what that means. So I went through that, and sure enough, I had a little gap there, and this went down all the way. So this is actually sitting on the shaft of the motor, and then I relocked these couplers here. So that's okay. I wanted to point this out before going into the step-by-step assembly instructions that they give you here. So I already went through step 1, by going through that other sheet that tells you to make sure you double check that. The next thing I did was they tell you here something to do with the installation, how to install the extruder head, and there are two screws here. This is even simpler than my Anycubic i3 Megas as far as mounting the head, because the whole head comes out via these 2 screws that simply mount to this bracket here that's on the wheels, that's connected to the belt. Very simple, very easy. So I did that. That was step number 2. Step number 3, it says install the spool support, or the spool bracket, which is this part right here. And this part was fairly easy. This is metal, by the way, and it's thick. Look how thick this metal. This is about an eighth of an inch thick, 4 millimeter thick. Same thing with this bracket right here. It's 4 millimeter, at least 4 millimeter thick bracket there. This is good, solid stuff. You don't find this. The Artillery Sidewinder X3 Pro that I did recent videos, nowhere these type of parts. Everything's like plastic and kind of not as strong as these parts. If we look at this, this is spool holder. This is an injection molded part. This part right here. The bracket is solid metal. These screws are very nice screws, and the bracket attaches to this extrusion here via some retainer nuts that are designed specifically for these types of extrusions. If you're wondering what those little nuts look like, they look they look something like that. Okay, so I just wanted to show that, and pardon my area here. My area is a little messy. This is my shop. I've been non-stop. I've been working on parts. I've been working on some projects here, and so it's a little messy here. But anyway, this is about the machine. So let me go back to the machine and go to let's see. After I installed the spool holder, it said to make these connections here. So I went and grabbed all these connectors from the bag that they came in, and I just simply, it doesn't matter which one goes which, because they're both the same type of connector here. But it tells you here in the instructions, connect the interface cables 1 and 4, interface 2 and 5, and interface 3 and 6. And if I can zoom in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically, you know, it's pretty common sense logic here when you look at the connectors, that you know, there's only one way that this one can go, and it can go either way here. You can, because it's the same connector. It only fits one way on these connectors here. These they look like JC plugs. These are kind of telephone cables here. These cables, and they have this nice little feature here, which I really like. It's kind of like a hard rubber clip opener, because these clip, as they go in, click, and then this is, you press this here to unlock it. So it's a clip unlocker, or a unlocking mechanism to unlock the clip. So it's there. So when it clicks, you know that it's set. I need to tidy up all these cables here. I'm going to put a nice band here. Temporarily, I'm using just a tie wrap here to hold these cables together. This is anodized, by the way. It's an aluminum anodized part. What a beautiful part! And I believe this is the sensor. Yes, this is the sensor for the filament. It's a filament sensor. I mean, most of these sensors that I supply with these machines these days, they're plastic. They're really cheap stuff. This is aluminum. And it's got the logo of the company, as I would do it. I mean, if I was making machines, I would put my logos there, because, you know, that shows that you know, it's a quality product. You know, it's not just a cheap plastic or 3D printed part that was thrown there. Even this dual drive extruder. This is a dual drive extruder. They call this extruders once again. I don't like to call these extruders, because an extruder is a part that has the heated nozzle, and that's what is actually doing the extrusion. So this is more a feeder. You know, this is a feeder mechanism that is driven by a stepper motor. Stepper motor is underneath. Nice cable here for the wires, and it's got the Bowden tube, which is you know, Bowden tube machines, they got to have that Bowden tube, you know, connected to the feeder and the hot end. This comes with this tag here that says please plug in this position. This was already plugged onto the hot end, so I didn't do anything here, but the instructions do tell you that you must, right here it tells you that you must insert the Bowden tube till it hits that point right there. It cannot be on top like that, or it cannot be crooked or cut skewed. So it's got to be flat and up against the nozzle, and that's typical with any Bowden type machine. That it's got to connect, not connect, but it's got to be flush with the nozzle, so there's no tendency of the plastic or the filament oozing from the gap, and that's basically telling you right here. So after doing that, this is showing you how to install this bracket here with these little retainers that I showed in previously, which are these little nuts here. You have to insert them flat, and then you got to kind of put them vertically and kind of slide it on the extrusion, align it with the screw hole, and then tighten it up, and that's how that works. So after doing that, it basically comes to this page where it says, make sure that all these connections are done this way. It's just, just to making the user go over some of these assemblies before starting the machine. And the last thing I did was tying these all these what would you call these knobs, these adjusting knobs. This one was loose in the machine. This one was also a little bit loose, and so I just took a screwdriver from the top, and before I assembled this top plate, and I just tightened all these. So it's not all the way, it's not totally tight. So the springs are not totally compressed, but it's very snug. But this cautions you to make sure that check whether the 4 leveling screws are tight before running the machine. What this let's see, does this tell you? Slide the hotbed by hand to check whether the y-axis is sliding normally, and this also slide. So basically you slide all these parts, the X, Y, Z, to make sure everything's traveling with no issues or no binding. And so it was. So that's how it came. So I'm not. There are no adjustments there. From here it goes on to. This is more related to the controller and the connectors and the screen. So it doesn't. What I didn't see here, what this manual does not have, is a step on how to install the bed here, the bed parts here. The way this machine was supplied, and I showed in my first part of the video, is just the aluminum piece. You see the raw aluminum piece, which is pretty thick here. This is thick aluminum, and then they give you this part, which is metal. It's a thin sheet, and that part was attached to that magnetic surface, which is also I think that's about maybe 2 millimeters thick. And it's a magnetic rubberized material that came with a 3M adhesive coating. I had a protected piece of paper. I removed that paper, and I was very careful in aligning that with the aluminum base plate, so that it's stuck permanently, or pretty good. I'm pretty sure you can remove that, if you need to, but I don't think there's going to be a need to remove this unless I go to a glass table here. We'll see how this machine runs with this, and then maybe in later on videos I'll probably convert this machine to a glass table. We'll see how this runs. Like I said, I want to give this a shot with this particular surface. I don't care, once again, for magnetic plates or magnetic surfaces. I much rather have a glass surface here. So that was my my point there also in my first video. So with all these things that I just went through, I think the machine's ready, and I just wanted to make sure that everything is okay here. And I'm about to turn it on. I connected the AC plug. The AC plug is about maybe 1 to maybe 3.5 feet long. I would say maybe a meter, a little bit over a meter. It's not really that long, which is not a problem if you have an extension. You have this next to a wall that has an outlet right there. So, but I just wanted to point that out because I remember seeing a video with somebody that was complaining that the cable was not long enough, not on this machine, but on some other product. And so that caught my interest. I remember that video, and I thought I just mentioned this here. It's not a big thing for me. I have extensions, I have walls, machines that are directly next to outlets that I connect, so that I can disconnect not only from here but also from the outlet in case something were to go wrong. I've never had any issues with machines overheating or fires or anything of that nature, because I'm very careful with my machines. You got to use common sense when you run machines. Just have to approach it from that point of view, and nothing will happen when you take things from that perspective. Anyway, turn on the machine, boom. Hopefully everything will go okay here. And it seems like it's warming up. And there's the screen right there with the Bluer Plus mascot or logo. This is very, very, very colorful graphics screen here. This video probably shows it as blue here, but this is purple with orange tones here in these graphics here. But it's very clear. It's very nice. And so let's see what it says here. Let's go through these here. Tools. Let's see what it has in tools. Tools. Very nice. Like I said, a graphical display. Somebody mentioned that that they look a little bit cartoonish in another video that I saw somebody doing a review on one of these machines. Unfortunately, I didn't see the whole video, but I did get to the part where it said it's a little bit cartoonish, and I would tend to agree. It's not a bad thing. I rather have things that are more that can that allow a user to react with the machine a lot faster versus just having maybe numbers or just letters. You know, visuals is very important. Like this is auto level. I mean, that's more like a balancing act versus leveling. If I would have created this machine and I had to do the graphics here, I probably would have put an image of a level, you know, a regular level with a bubble, like a bubble, a spirit level, what they call the spirit level, instead of a balance, because that's like balancing. But you can still understand what that means, because it also has the description here. Let's go back here. It's got the name, the filament, filament extrusion, push in, push out, or feed in and feed out. Extrusion, the filament. This is I'm not clear. Extrusion, you're extruding the hot plastic, I guess, with that little squiggle there, and the filament, you're pushing the filament through the. This might be with the feeder. It have to do with the feeder mechanism. This is extruding. So you're probably going to see both of these things in action if this is animated. I don't think it's animated, but it's just giving you that move. Let's try the move here, because I don't have the filament yet, and I don't have an SD card with a file yet. Let's just play with this and see what happens here. So there's that there's the LED there that I believe it's part of the sensor here. The sensor that senses the height of the machine for auto leveling. So you have the Z-axis. So we'll move the Z-axis here. And the Z-axis is moving in. It tells you here whether to move it in one increment or you can increase that to see what's the highest. I guess it's 10 millimeter increments, and it's moving 10 millimeters. As we see here. Let's lower it. See? X plus, X minus, and that should be in reference to the user. Minus, plus, negative. So table plus comes this way, negative goes back, and I'm not able to move this any further for some reason. I guess that's the end here. But for some reason, it's stopping right there. I cannot move the Y any further than this. I thought it would go all the way and hit the switch somehow, but it's not moving any further than that. So let's go to let's see if we have just a global move here where it moves all three axes. Axes at the same time. Let's see, home, of course, home. So let's try home here. I'm going to press home, and we'll see what happens here. Home, and then it gives you another screen that says, do you want to move all, or do you want to go home on the X, Y, Z, and Z? Very nice. Motor off. So let's move all of them. And it's moving. Okay, so there's moving back. It's hitting that switch at the back. Boom. Let's see where home is. So it's homing on the it's a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow, but I'm not going anywhere. And it hit the sensor there. It's going down again. It's triggering something. There's some LEDs are flickering. It's changing colors. So okay, so it's saying here ready print tool home. So let's go home on the X and see if it does anything here. I wonder if that's the if this is the, so that's home. Okay, so why did it go over here? So let's go Y. That's where typically home is on my Anycubics and some other machines. Z home should be no. And I hear a little squeaking there, and I believe it's probably these wheels here. So yeah, it's moving again. So that sensor is clicking. Okay. For some reason, it's taking home at that point for some reason. I don't know if that's really where home should be or here. I thought it would be here, but let's just go with the flow for now. Okay, so motor off, motor off. I'm gonna hit the motor off, and I should be able to move this. All three X, Y, and Z axis by hand here, and I can, because the motor has all motors have been shut off. Okay, so I'm gonna home again on all three axes. Yeah, it's going back to that point there. Okay, no, the connectors are working fine, because all the yeah, direction. Yeah, I just went through the movement of the XYZ in the proper direction, so that's working fine. Okay, so let's go back to see what else it's here. Preheat, extrusion, move, home, more, filament, auto level. Let's try auto level here. So it says please wait while auto leveling is taking place. So this is different than the artillery, because the artillery would level beginning at this point here. This is going to the opposite end. So because I don't know this machine too much just yet, I'm just going to let it do its thing. It does have a little squeaky noise here, and I believe it's coming from the lead screws. So I'm going to put a little grease on these parts right here, on these lead screw nuts. Yeah, I believe that's where that's coming from. Not a big deal. Yeah, that little squeaking noise, it is coming from yeah, it's coming from this end right here. Okay, somebody mentioned in another video that I was watching that these nuts are preloaded. They're self-centering nuts. Apparently, they have these parts right here which have springs to it, so it's auto self-centering. So you don't have to use the screw, you know, like on some other most other machines that are open frame architecture, you have to that use rollers. You have to adjust that little screw and kind of get that concentric knot in the right position, so that these things don't have any play on the rollers with the track here. Okay, so what does it say here? It says ready to print, leveling. Place 4 sheets of A4 paper nozzle and the hotbed. Move the Z-axis to adjust between the nozzle and the bottom plate. Pull the paper gently during the adjustment Z-axis. It means that the spacing is suitable. When there is a slight resistance, click finish to save. Place 4 sheets of A4 paper. Place 4 sheets of A4 paper, I believe they say, between the nozzle and the hotbed. I think that's what they mean here. They forgot to put between there. And then move the Z-axis to adjust between the nozzle and the bottom plate. So 4 sheets of A4 paper, that's I'm gonna go with this right here and adjust for that height. Yeah, that nozzle is kind of hitting the surface here, and maybe because I have not tightened these knobs here. I tighten those just by feel, by hand. So let's adjust this by let's go. Let's see, Z plus, Z minus. I need to go Z plus here. I forget, Z plus, do they mean down, Z plus, more this way, or less that way, or is it the other way? So let's do Z plus here, see what happens. Let's see if I can see the screw, which way it's moving. Oh, you can change this. You can go to 5 millimeter, 0.1 millimeter, 0.1. So it goes from 0.1 down to 0.05 millimeters that you can adjust that. Z. I don't see anything happening here. Oh, right there, it's telling me the offset right there. Offset Z 2.0. So I went 2.0 offset. Let's see if we can lower that offset. Go minus maybe? Oops. Tools. Auto level again. I kind of